implements that are used for the preparation of soil?
Sir, can you repeat?
My question is that what are some of the agricultural implements? Implements or tool, both are same thing. So what are some agricultural implements that we use to prepare the soil?
Like the tools,
Tools. What are some of the tools? Khadija, Sandus? Yes.
the cards and the tractors.
Mm, okay. So these are some of the tools, right? So for example, we were using plow, huh? We use cultivators, and we have to level the soil also. In order to level the soil, we will be using a leveler like this. This one is a mechanized. It's a mechanized leveler. 1 minute. Huh. This is a leveler that we use. So this is also agricultural implement that we use. Then you have got this scraper also, scraper. This is a ox drawn scraper, meaning that it is being pulled by the help of ox. So that is the ox drawn scraper. Okay, now. So different types of agricultural implements are also there. Can you guys name an agricultural implement that is especially used for the removal of weeds, that is unwanted plants?
Hoe.
Exactly, isn't it, Santosh? So that we
Sorry,
are using.
what? A what?
We use a hoe in order to remove weeds from the plants, from the field. Okay, now. So these are some, and then you have cultivator and plow also. So these were some of the agricultural implements. You guys tell me why leveling the field is important. Why is it important? Yes, Khadija. Why leveling of the field is important? Leveling is done why? Yes, because leveling of the field ensures uniform distribution of water in the field. If the land were not to be evenly if the soil is not evenly distributed on the land, if there are bigger chunks of soil in the land, so water will start accumulating at different places on the land. Getting it, guys?
Can you repeat?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Can you repeat? Sorry.
I was saying that we do leveling. The question is why we are doing leveling. Because it ensures uniform distribution of water on the land. If the land is like this, in which there are bigger chunks of soil are spread on the land like this, so water will be getting accumulated at different places. Huh, Khadija, Sandos?
Yes.
And if by leveling we are breaking down the bigger chunks of soil, so thereby soil is uniformly broken down, and hence water will be uniformly distributed on the land. It will not accumulate at different places, right now. And also it will be helping in proper sowing of the seeds. Getting it, guys? It will also be helping in the proper sowing of the seeds, as I had told in the previous class with the example, like if there are bigger chunks of soil lying here, thereby you will be having problem in sowing the seeds will start accumulating at different places. So that's why breaking the bigger chunks of soil becomes very important. In the previous class we were talking about sowing, and in this we studied what kind of seeds should the farmer use. So we studied that farmer should be using good quality seeds that are clean, seeds that are healthy, okay, and seeds that gives a high yield. So thereby we will be using a high yield variety seeds. In short, it is written as HYVS. Okay, no? So selection of the right soil becomes important. Also, We will be sowing the seeds as per depending upon the soil, depending upon the climate, depending upon the type of irrigation method, and some other factors are also there. What do I mean to say? I mean to say that, for example, you can't grow rice on a soil that has a very poor water holding capacity, because in order to grow rice you need to have a soil that absorbs a very good amount of water, that can hold water. I mean to say that you have a rice seed. Okay, now Khadija and Sandus, listen carefully. You have a rice seed. You will be growing it in a black or a loamy soil, or will you be sowing it in a sandy soil?
The loamy soil. Yes, I in
It's
the solution.
right now we will be most preferably we will be using a loamy soil, and if not we can use black soil also. So because they can hold water, but sandy soil has very less absorption capacity of water. It will lose all the water. Most of the water will percolate through the sandy soil. Getting it now, both of you?
Yes.
Huh? Okay. And then it also depends upon the climate also. Hmm? Climate is also a very important factor. One factor we studied about like soil. Then you have climate. Like, will you be able to grow the same seed of rice in a harsh climatic condition like that in a desert? Will you be able to grow? No, because it grows in a moist condition. It grows in abundant amount of water. Getting it now, guys? So climate is also a very important factor in selection of the right variety of right seed. And there could be some other regional factors also. Irrigation method will also be determining the type of seed which you will be growing in a particular area. For example, in slopy area, like for example, let's say this is a hill. So in hill, what will happen? Most of the water will pour down, will basically will slide down. So thereby, it is not preferably used by farmers. Hilly areas are not the first choice of the farmers to grow crops like rice. Getting it? What I'm trying to say? Because water will fall down via the slope. Water will basically fall down. But still, in some parts of India, you will find that even in hilly areas, farmer will be growing rice crops. What they will be doing now? They will be making ridges like this. I mean to say like this. For example, let's say this is a um, hilly area, so they will be making patterns like this, and in this they will be growing the rice plantations like this. You guys getting it or not? What I'm trying to say? They will be making
Yes, sir.
boundaries using soil. So they have made a boundary around the land using soil, so in which they can hold water, and then they will be growing the rice. But generally we see that farmers prefer to grow rice on a plain land. Okay, now so sowing of the seeds, farmers, what kind of seeds will be selected by the farmers? It should be clean, it should be healthy, it should give a very high yield, and then it will also depend upon the soil, climate, and you have some other methods like irrigation method as well. Do you guys understand what is irrigation? Huh? Do you guys understand about irrigation or not? Yes. Irrigation is nothing but the practice of providing water to the land. Irrigation is basically supplying water to the land. That is called as irrigation. Guys, am I audible and am I visible or not?
Yes, I am audible.
Okay, okay. Normally, when you guys don't reply, then I think like whether I'm audible, you guys are getting the concepts or not.
Yeah, so I'm getting the concept.
And there can be some other regional factors also that will determine what kind of seed a farmer will be growing in the land. Okay, now for example, you will find like certain tribal groups are known for production of certain kind of crops. What I mean to say that, for example, there are several tribal peoples here in India as well who are known to do a particular kind of farming only. For example, let's say there's a tribal group A, so they will be particularly growing, let's say, rice only. So farmers living in that area, they will also be most preferably growing rice in their land, because you see, people associate so many things with their culture also. Like if you were to go in southern part of India, their staple diet is basically rice. They will be having rice with everything. Huh. So in that southern
Yes,
part of India, yes.
I heard that. I heard that if that land is providing rice, like there will be a company to manufacture it. So that land will basically provide that company only.
That land will provide that on what did you say? The last line, will you please repeat again?
That company only.
Hmm. Okay, okay. So what basically we are seeing here, that people are culturally associated also with the different type of crops here. Getting it now? So these are the normal factors. And as I was saying about the regional factors, in regional factors, this will be counting. What I was saying earlier, like in southern part of India, people will be preferably growing crops like rice crops in most part of the land. And then if you were to go to parts of India like Uttar Pradesh, in western Uttar Pradesh, you will see sugar cane is grown at a large scale. So these are some of the regional factors also which determines the kind of seed a farmer will be growing and how they will be selecting it. Okay. Hope it is clear. If there's any questions in it, please do let me know. Now in India, you guys know that there is a um government department for different things. For example, if government has to build roads, so there's a ministry of roads. Uh, Government has to supply ration, supply ration to poor peoples in the country. There's a separate department for it. Government has to look after the cleaning of the city. Government has to look after the sewage of the city. So they have got municipal corporations. Similarly, there's a ministry of agriculture in India, and they have set up a national level organization which is called as National Seeds Corporation. What is it? It is a national organization set up by Ministry of Agriculture. So what is the role of this National Seeds Corporation? Let's understand this now. Okay, no. So this National Seeds Corporation that is set up by the Ministry of Agriculture in India, their work is to test the quality of the seeds. Okay, no. Their role is to test the quality of the seeds. And you have got certain universities, particularly you have got like agricultural universities are there. So they also have got some laboratories. See, let me just complete this, then I will be taking up your queries. So there are some agricultural universities, and they have set up special laboratories. So they have set up special laboratories in which they will be doing what? They will be testing the quality of the seeds. Seed quality is tested. This National Seeds Corporation, their work is also to test the quality of seed. Test seed quality. So government also has set up various institutions in order to regularly check the quality of the seeds. And what these lab tests are actually checking in the seeds? They check for the purity of the seeds. They check whether the seeds are resistant to disease, resistant to different type of pests or not. Let me write these things. These agencies or test labs checks for these following things. So they will be checking for purity of seeds. Second thing, some kind of seeds like the high yield variety of seeds, this one here, they are known to be resistant to certain diseases. Just like human can catch disease, similarly plants can also catch different type of diseases. For example, they can catch diseases like citrus canker. Wheat plant can catch a disease called as wheat rust. Okay, no, but there are some high yielding variety of seeds which are some up to some extent they are resistant to some diseases, and they are resistant to some pests also. PESTS, resistance to disease and pests. Another thing they will be checking for in a seed is whether they are how much suitable they are to a given to the given climatic condition. Getting it? Like some kind of seeds, if the climatic conditions are if the climatic conditions were to even slightly change, they will not be germinating properly. A healthy crop will not grow out of it. So another thing they will be checking is suitability to regional climatic conditions. Regional climatic conditions. You guys getting it or not? If there's any question in it, please do let me know.
I didn't get them.
Okay, Khadija, what about you?
I understood.
Understood it?
Yes.
Okay. So look here. I'm repeating it again. You also listen, Khadija. See, in any given country, there are various sectors. Like in India, for example, you have the agricultural sector is there, right? So there is an government agency, there's an organization set up by the government whose job is to look after the needs of agriculture, right? So some of the organization will be looking after the irrigation department, the water needs of the crop. Some will be looking after the fertilizers and manure needs. Some organization will be looking after the seeds. So there is this National Seeds Corporation that is set up by Ministry of Agriculture. Again, remember there are different ministries in India. Like you have Ministry of Road and Railways. There is a minister that heads the ministry. For example, Ministry of Roads and Railway. For example, roadways. Like Nitin Gadkari is the ministry who is handling the Ministry of Roadways in India. For example, so different ministries are there, and they are headed by a minister. Anyways, come back to the topic. So that is Ministry of Agriculture. They have set up a national organization called as National Seeds Corporation. In short, it is also written as NSC. Along with such corporations, we have got certain agricultural universities also, where there are different type of different laboratories are set up in order to study the quality of the seed. Just like how you go to a college, you will be having different branches in a college. You can do a BTech from college, or B.Ed, or Bachelor in Computer Application, or Masters in Business Administration, etc. In a similar manner, there are some universities, special universities which studies agriculture. So there are some laboratories in those kind of universities. So along with agriculture universities and National Seeds Corporation, their work is to test for the quality of the seeds. So while they are checking for the quality of seeds, what exactly they are looking for in a seed? So they see whether the seed is pure or not. Basically, whether it is free from contamination or not. Contamination is unwanted thing. Whether the seed is resistant to disease or not. If the seed is very poor, if it's not a good seed, it will immediately be infected with a disease. Right? And just like if our immune system is weak, we will be infected with any disease very easily. Then the last point I did told, suitability to regional climatic conditions. Like you are growing rice or you are growing wheat or bajra in a particular soil, but you have to also look whether this seed is suitable to the climatic condition of that area or not. So these are the things. Hope it is clear. If there's any question in it, please do ask. Yes.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Let's move ahead then. This thing we have already studied how to separate, so how to select the damaged seeds, separate the damaged seeds from the healthy seeds. Then we had the different type of agricultural implements that are used to sow the seeds. So traditionally we had this setup. So basically, while the land was being plowed by these bullocks, so there is a funnel that is attached on the plow. As you can see here, there's a funnel attached to the plow. Okay, now now there this side of this funnel is hollow. So as the land is being plowed by this bullock, so then they will be putting seeds into this funnel, and hence the seeds are sown in this manner. Getting it, guys?
Yes, no.
But is it suitable to sow a large piece of land using this method, using this traditional way? Obviously, no.
Mm.
So thereby we have got the machines called seed drill. So today seed drills are used with the help with the tractors in order to sow seeds. Just like how you can see in this one, in this image here, that a cultivator is attached to the back of this tractor. In a similar manner, if you have to sow the seeds now, you can remove this cultivator and you will attach a seed drill to back of this tractor. So seed drills are attached to the back of the tractor. Remember that point. Now let's understand about how it is better than the tradition, better than this traditional tool. See, it's not like that in order to sow the seeds now, it's not like you will be basically it's not like you will basically spread the seed on the land. If you were to simply throw the seeds on the land, what are the disadvantages? You guys tell me what will happen.
Can you
Many
repeat the question?
unwanted plants will go like, I think so.
Okay. Khadijam, question was why we should not in order to grow crops, why is it that we should not randomly throw the seeds on the ground? What could be the disadvantages? 1 minute. See, suppose you are throwing seeds of some plants like here. I'm drawing a diagram. Drawing some diagrams here. You guys tell me which is the best method to sow the seeds. The green dots are representing seed, and the boxes are representing the soil, the layer of soil. Okay, now let's say these are the top soils, A, B, and C. You guys tell me by looking at the images here, Which one is the most appropriate way to sow the seeds? In the third one, you can see seeds are basically thrown on the surface of the topsoil. Here you have sown it to some depth, at certain depth, while here they are sown at too much of depth. It's too deep.
B.
B. Okay. What about you, Sundus?
Yeah, I think
A.
A.
No, Sundus. Actually, B1 is correct. Why is it so? You know why? Because if you sow the seeds too deep, it will not have access to air. It will not be having access to fertilizers or manures which you will be providing to the soil. So seeds might suffocate and seeds might not germinate if you sow it too deep. So in the third one, you have basically we have basically thrown the seeds on the ground. So most probably some bird will come and will be eating this. Okay, now some bird will be eating this. Insects will feed on the seeds. So ultimately, seeds only one or two of them might germinate. Rest of them will be eaten by the by the insects, by the bacteria or the birds. While in the second one, we have sown them at exactly the right depth. So they will have access to all the things: moisture, sunlight, nutrients, right now. Also, you might notice if I were to draw one more diagram, you guys tell me. Now, you guys tell me what is the correct method to sow the seeds out of A, B, C, and D?
B only.
B only? Huh?
B.
B exactly. Because here several seeds are clumped together, several seeds are sown at the same place. So seeds will not have enough space to grow properly. Their roots will not expand properly. Right now. So when they grow, they will be growing like this. The plants will be coming like this. So the plants will be too much crowded right now. While in this one, every plant will have sufficient amount of space to grow. The roots and the root and shoot system will grow properly in the in second case, that is B. That's why we had this machine called seed drill. You can see here that in this one, now this is this container like structure that you see here. Seeds are put into it, and then you will find out that yes.
It has more fun kind of thingy so that it will happen at the same time.
Ha,
So
ha.
it is not time consuming. That's why we use that seed drills.
Hmm. See, correct. So basically, what happens? You will find that this in this container, you will be farmer will be putting the seeds, and further you will see there's a funnel here. I mean to say there's a hollow pipe. Okay, now, and you will find look at these claw-like structures that you see here. Look at this claw-like structure where I'm pointing. The one that is in black color. Okay, now. So at the end of this, it is actually hollow. This is actually hollow. Right now, this is actually hollow. And when this is being run over the land, seeds will start to come out of it. And you will find that all of them are at equal distances from each other. The gap between them is uniform. So hence seeds are sown at equal distances from each other and at the right depth. They are not sown above the land, too deep into the land. They are sown exactly at the right depth and exactly at equal distance from each other. So that is the advantage of using a seed drill. Also, you see that it covers the seeds with soil after sowing so that birds do not eat them. And it will be saving time also and the human labor also. A large plot of land will require several men to sow the seeds. while in just few hours this seed drill will sow a very large piece of land. So it will be saving time and the human labor as well. If there's any question in it, please let me know. Next, we'll be studying what precautions we should be taking while sowing the seeds. In fact, we have just discussed that. I will be just summarizing that. Now, in this image, you can have a better clarity. Look at the first image here. What do you see in the first image here? Is it the correct method to sow the seeds? The first image here,
Yes.
it's correct. But if you were to look at the yellow seeds, no, they should actually have been further away from these seeds, isn't it, Khadija?
Yes.
So the second image actually depicts here that they should be sown at equal distance from each other. Actually, this first image the second image is actually incomplete. Like this person, whoever this person has taken is this image. If the seeds were to be covered after sowing them at equal distances, then this is correct. Right now, because the seeds have to be actually covered with soil. Now the question is that why is it better to sow the seeds uniformly? Why we should sow them uniformly? Why not just randomly throw them? Yes.
They will not germinate properly.
Mm. They will not germinate properly, correct? Next, what other reasons are there? Yes, Khadija. To allow proper germination, Sandus has said. Then we can say, in order to avoid overcrowding of the plants, isn't it? To stop overcrowding of plants. Because what will happen now? When this plant will be growing, the leaves will also be coming. When the leaves will start to come out of it. So suppose there's another plant right next to it. So the leaves of this plant will also be growing, and the problem is that they both will be overlapping each other. The leaves of this plant will be overlapping onto the leaf of the first plant, plant A, plant B. These are the leaves here. So they will not allow another plant to have sufficient share of sunlight. It will not be getting proper amount of sunlight. So they will be competing with each other for sunlight. Also, the roots will also be very closer like this. So the roots will also be competing for nutrients, for water, for different type of nutrients and water. Getting it, guys? So third thing is that why is it better to sow seeds uniformly? Because another reason is that because it avoids competition between plants for nutrition, for nutrients and sunlight. Okay, no? So that is the reason why we are sowing it at uniform distances. And moments ago, we have studied what precaution we should be taking while sowing the seeds. So we have first thing we have studied that while sowing the seeds, we need to make sure that seeds are healthy and they are high yielding variety seeds. Second thing we have studied that they should be planted at correct distance from each other. Planted at correct distance from each other. And second thing is at right depth. At right depth. Also, so these are the basically general things which we take care of while sowing the seeds. Now then you have some of the plants which are first of all grown in very tiny bags in nursery. You might have seen. So why is it so certain plants are first of all grown in a nursery and then later on planted onto the mainland? What do you guys think? In this one, this is a nursery actually. Just like a kid is first sent to a kindergarten or sent to a play school and then to a nursery and then to another school to higher classes, because a young kid is needs to be nurtured in a very protective and in a very good environment, because a young kid can be prone to different things, so they have to be nurtured in a very protective and in a very safe environment. Similarly, some plants can catch diseases very easily. They are not resistant to some diseases right now. So basically, you will see so many plants are first of all grown into in these small bags in a nursery. So they will be provided with sufficient amount of nutrition, sufficient amount of sunlight, water. So they grow in a very good manner. You will find out that even the same thing is done for rice also. Rice is also first of all grown in a nursery. So once they have grown to a certain height, once they are few centimeters long, so now they are called as seedling. Okay, no?
Yeah,
So now they are
not
called,
getting.
not getting it. See, I'm saying that for some crops, no, first of all, you will be growing them in a nursery. Just like as I gave the example of kid, so similar to that, some plants will be grown in small bags. So they will be provided with a very good amount of manures and fertilizers. So they get all the required nutrients. Sufficient amount of sunlight availability is ensured. Water is provided. So this results in a very results in the growth of a healthy plant. Okay, now. So you will find out for some paddy crops like paddy crops, some flowering plants, some forest plants are also there. So first of all they are grown in a nursery, and they will be growing like you have sown the seeds, and after some time they grow to a certain height. So when they are up to like 10 to 15 centimeters, they are called as seedlings, and now they are ready to be grown into the mainland. So when they have grown to a certain height of 10 to 15 centimeter, then they will be grown on the large field. So here you are actually transplanting the plant, transplanting the seeds on the mainland. You're transferring the seed into the
But how
mainland.
it cannot be done because the plant has already grown. Then how will you
Uh-huh.
shift it into the plant?
See, basically, these bags that you are seeing here, no, they are normally such type of small bags which can be basically cut open, and these plants along with the soil that is clinging to the roots can be grown in the large, can be sown back into the large fields. Getting it, guys? What I'm trying to say. Let me repeat what I just said. I'm saying that when they have grown to a certain height and they are then called as seedlings, you will find out like for a certain type of crops like tomatoes and chilies. uh, so they are also first of all grown in a small nursery, and then and then later on they are grown into a large field. So now once you have grown them to a certain height, farmers will be basically cutting. They will cut open this small bag, they will cut it, and then they will take out this plant and they will be again transplanting it into this large land. So the process of transferring the seedlings from this nursery to the main field land by hand, they will be doing it manually, not by the help of machines. So I'm saying the process of transferring the seedlings from the nursery to the main field by the hand is called as transplantation or transplanting. You guys got it or not? Please do let me know. Sundus, are you getting it? Not getting it.
I got it.
Okay. Khadija, what about you?
I understand.
Okay. Now the question is that what is the need to do all this? Why not just grow them on the or directly in the soil, directly in the mainland? Because this transplantation process has several advantages. There are different advantages of transplantation. Advantages of transplantation. So first advantages is that it allows you to select only the better and healthy seedlings for the cultivation of crops. Suppose in this nursery some of the crops, some of the seedlings are not healthy, so you will not be growing that on the mainland. You will separate them, right? No. So first option, first advantage is that it allows for selection of only the better and healthy crops, healthy seedlings. Then also you will find out that those crops which are grown by the transplanting method, now their roots penetrate deeper in the soil. Also, now just let me give you guys a quick definition of transplanting. 1 minute. Now, what transplanting is basically, because questions from this is usually asked in exam. What is transplantation? Also, I will be asking its definition in the next class. Okay. So it is nothing but the process of transferring the seedlings. In the image, you can see the person is transferring the seedling from this nursery onto this mainland by the hand. Okay, now you can see by the image also. So the process of transferring the seedlings from the nursery to main field by hand, that is transplantation. Sometimes it is also called as transplanting. Both of them mean the same thing. We were discussing what are the advantages. I have already written here what are some of the advantages of transplanting. It enables us to select only the healthy seedlings. So thereby that will be resulting in a better crop production. Transplantation also allows for better root penetration into the soil. So those crops, particularly for which crops we are doing transplantation, you should be aware of that also. So like for chilies, tomatoes, then you have rice, that is paddy. So normally for these type of crops, transplanting is being done. There's some, of course, there's some other also, like we should be counting some flowering plants also. So these are the advantages. The third advantage is that it also allows better shoot development. So the question is that why the roots are growing longer, why it penetrates deeper into the soil, and why the shoot system also develops in a better manner. Because the obvious reason is that while we were growing them in this nursery, we provided them with sufficient amount of nutrition, with sufficient amount of water, sufficient amount of sunlight. Right now, also you will find that they are being grown from each other at proper distance. Right now. So these are the advantages. Hope it is clear. If there's any other question in it, please do let me know. Otherwise, this topic is not very much long. Okay, shall we move ahead then?
Yes. Yes.
Now, once you have sown the seeds, normally what we find out that due to rigorous farming, rigorous means continuous without stopping. So, due to rigorous farming, the soil is now gradually losing its fertility. Fertility here means presence of nutrients in the soil. So the concentration, so the amount of nutrition in the soil is depleting. It is decreasing day by day, right now. But we need to feed the billions of peoples. Farmer needs to grow the crops. Hence, they need to ensure the fertility of the soil is good. Ensure that fertility is good. So they will be adopting. They will be using manures. They will be using fertilizers and some natural methods in order to ensure that nutrient of nutrition soil is fertile. So we know, 1 minute, we know that crops requires a different type of minerals are required by the crops in order to grow, just like we humans require carbohydrate, proteins, vitamins, minerals, etc. So in the similar manner, plants also require different type of minerals in order to grow. Now, as I said, due to repeated growing of crops in the same field, lots of uh, precious minerals are now decreasing in the soil. So, due to this, soil becomes infertile, and after some time, the yield of the crop decreases. When I say yield, what does it mean? What does yield mean? Yes, due to continuous farming, the yield decreases. Yield is decreasing. Yield is basically the amount of output. Basically, the amount of output, meaning that how much of grain is produced, how much of vegetable, how much of fruits are produced from that crop. Getting it now? So yield is decreasing. So unless the depleted plant nutrients are put back into the soil from time to time, the growth of the crop would be poor if you were not to return those nutrients back into the soil. You guys getting it? So we fulfill the deficiency of plant nutrients and some organic matters into the soil by adding manures and by adding fertilizers to the soil. If there's any question in it, please to let me know.
So I didn't get it.
Okay, what about Khadija?
I understood.
Okay,
Sir,
Sundus,
I said I didn't get it.
okay, you got it now. I can't hear you
So
properly.
what?
Sundus,
So
is it
I
clear to
said
you?
I didn't get it.
Okay, okay. Now I got it. So basically, what happens, no, Sundus? See, farmers, let's say farmers are continuously growing different crops on a piece of land, right? So plants require different type of minerals from the soil. For example, this plant takes nitrogen from the soil, it takes potassium, it takes phosphorus, potassium, it takes calcium, it takes iron, it takes magnesium, it takes manganese. All these different type, I have just listed few. There are so many different type of minerals. So these are some of the minerals that are taken up by this plant via their roots. So after some time, what happens? Due to continuous farming on this land, the concentration, the amount of these minerals will start to decrease. Okay, now? So soil will ultimately become infertile. Soil will become infertile. So now when the new crops will be grown, when the crops will be grown on this land, they will grow. But the output from those crops will be less. Suppose earlier, from this 1 hectare of land, suppose we have take a hypothetical figure. Let's take an imaginary number. Like suppose 100 kilogram of rice was obtained from this land. But after 6 months, because of continuous farming, the yield decreases. Now you can obtain only, let's say, 80 kilogram. So what we find out that the yield has decreased, isn't it, Khadija, Sundus? So we need to return these minerals back to the soil, right now. So deficiency of these plant nutrients and some organic matters also, we return it back to the soil by different methods. So there are normally three methods, but first two methods are usually preferred by us. That is addition of manures and fertilizers. Later on, we will get to know that there is a natural method also that helps in replenishing the nutrients of soil. That is crop rotation. So the first one is addition of manure. Second is fertilizer. Third is crop rotation. Interestingly, manure and crop rotation, anyone can practice it if they have the proper knowledge, proper idea about it. But fertilizers are grown in the factories, grown in laboratories. So we will understand about manure and then we'll be stopping it here. From the fertilizer, we'll be studying in the next class. Sundus, did you
So
got it?
just
No.
can I one more?
Yes.
Just can I come back at one?
Okay. Okay.
Can I be back
Ha, ha, ha.
after one?
Okay. Okay. Khadija, do you have any doubts on this?
No.
Okay. So manures, you might have seen that, no? Like farmers, basically farmers, no? Many of the farmers, once they have cultivated the land, once they have harvested their crops from the land, they will leave the waste into their land, or they will simply burn it. Like suppose wheat crops are grown on the land. So once they have cut it down, no, this portion of this wheat plant, they will leave it on the land. Or you also have seen that all the organic waste like vegetables, fruit peels, vegetable peels, dead leaves. Many times you might have seen that farmers would be digging pitches. They would be digging pitches. They will put all those organic waste into it. After one month, it will convert into manure that is rich in different plant nutrients, and then they will be spreading it on the land. So what we are basically seeing here is Sundus back or not?
I'm
Yes.
already back.
So what I was basically saying about manures, like manures are basically what? You guys can also make manure in the garden. What you can do, collect some dead leaves on a daily basis, collect all the fruit and vegetable peels, collect the vegetable peels, collect the tea leaves, basically all the organic waste. Dug a dug a pitch, okay, na? And put all of these organic waste into it, and then cover it using some cardboard or using something. Cover this and regularly sprinkle some water in it. Regularly open this cover, sprinkle some water in it. Then after 1 or after 1.5 months, you will see that this will convert into a very
Repeat again.
yes.
Can you repeat again?
uh I was saying that no, collect all these different wastes like dead leaves, fruits, vegetable peels, tea leaves, any food item that is contaminated, that is rotting. Put them in a pitch. Dug a pitch, okay, no? Dug a one meter pitch and put all of them inside this. Cover it using straw. Cover it using straws, not the straw that you use to drink something. Not talking about that straw. The straw is a different thing here. So you cover it using the straws or cover it using a simple cardboard and keep on sprinkling some water into it. You can mix it using a stick also. You can mix all the contents of it using a stick also. So what you will find after 1.5 months, after 1 or 1.5 months, all of them will be decomposed. Suppose earlier it was filled up to this level, now it will be reduced down to only this much. So then you will be having a very rich, nutrient rich substance that will be called as manure, and it is ready to be um, um, provided to the plants. You can now provide it to the soil.
I have a question.
Yeah, Khadija.
Is manure basically compost?
See, in manures also you will find out that there are different types of manures also. One is this simple manure that I just told you. Another method is that if you are preparing the manures, okay, if you are preparing the manures using the help of worms, using the help of worms, so then you will be having a compost. So what in the case of manures also you will find that one is a normal manure, another one is a wormy compost or compost, which we what basically you can do, you can put some red earthworms in it, so that will actually speed up the process of decomposition of these organic waste.
Just wanted to ask a question not related to the chapter. Are you sick?
Actually,
Like, have a
I'm not
fever?
well. No, I don't have a fever, but actually I'm having a very sore throat and suffering from cough and cold.
Okay.
Uh, Normally,
First
like,
you did
mhm.
water and I thought you were fasting. That one.
No, no, actually the fast is already over here. Iftar time is already over.
Ooh, okay.
Uh, okay, okay. So I was saying that if Khadija, if and Sundus, if we were to take help of red earthworms in order to speed up the decomposition of this organic phase, so thereby you will be having a vermicompost. In fact, nowadays people are having vermicompost toilets as well. Vermicompost toilet. That's
I
a very
think
interesting.
you explained it.
How we did study this na in the previous class, like Sundus?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, in the
So these
7th.
things na collectively we will be studying again in the next class. So also this topic is left. It's not completed right now. So whatever you have studied so far, do revise that. Also, have you guys been completing your assignments or not?
I have to complete. Yes, I have to complete it.
Okay, Khadija,
I
what
can.
about you?
I also have to complete it.
Okay, okay. After every